TPR.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the TBR Pod. Today's episode is pod number 126, if I'm not wrong. This episode is with Yasser and AR from the very famous, very popular, very funny Cooking Chaos YouTube channel, Instagram account, outfit. It's their first time on the channel, long overdue. I'm sure many of you feel. I was very new to their channel and I only went through their videos in the past couple of weeks, as I mentioned in the podcast. But now that they were here, we have done the usual. We've had a long conversation, not very long, but a decent conversation asking about how they got together, how they come up with their videos, what their priorities are. It's interesting in the sense that they are very clear throughout the episode that they're not looking to make this a business venture first. A lot of people talk about YouTube videos, these creative processes from a very analytical sort of mindset, and these guys differ from that. We talk about what their opinions are, why they differ, why they feel they have the room to differ in their approach, and how it helps their chemistry, how it helps the quality of their product, even though it takes a lot of time and effort to put it all together. And at the end, there are Jinn stories. So descriptions below. In It's got all the chapters and everything as you expect. Great conversation. If you're into the channel, if you're into YouTube, if you've been following our creator discussions over the past 2-ish years at this point, this is another great addition to that series. So without further ado, Yasser and AR from Cooking Chaos, pod number 126. It looks like this is like some weird parent teacher meeting. Full formal बैठे हो तुम दोनों. Khair, how are you guys? How are you doing, bro?
Good.
No.
Good. How are you?
I'm good also.
We're good. Thank you.
Important question. How many episodes have you seen of the TPR podcast?
I've seen a few. I've seen one with Irfan. I've seen one with Haya.
Oh, you
I've
have?
seen one with Shazad Malik. I've seen all the creator stuff. Some of them I have seen them. Yes, of course.
Now I hear some audio पीछे से.
Now he decided as soon as we start talking.
अच्छा नहीं, I'm surprised.
And then I saw, who else have I seen? I might have seen Kazi ke saath jo, the one that you made had with Kazi. I've seen one of the round table ones that you guys do sometimes.
Okay, I'm surprised. This is like 12 more than I expected because I was like, huh?
Yeah, I follow everybody.
Oh, that's
I saw one of the. Is it? Do you call it the Chalant group?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Yeah.
Some of those ones are very funny.
Yeah. Those are the ones where we would rather कि जितने कम लोग देखें बेहतर है वरना हमें कोई उठा.
But for the longest time, I thought you were in Islamabad, and then eventually I figured out, acha,
He's in Dublin?
Yeah, he's in Dublin.
I'm in Dublin. Yeah.
Then,
You were on Yasser, you were on Clubhouse too, right? उस ज़माने में, like a few months ago.
And initially I was sort of we test try and just listen to people and all of that. थोड़ा सा कभी बार ज़हन में कोई बात आ गई तो 2-3 जुमले बोल दिए, लेकिन I'm not that expressive as others were.
I remember बीच में ना एक दफा यासिर भाई आना था. I was like, Yasser, I know there's one Yasser I know, and turns out it is you. But okay, wow, I did not expect you guys to have seen this many episodes. What I wanted to talk to you about was obviously your amazing YouTube channel, but also everything, how you got together. Did you guys watch the match, by the way? Kal wala?
Of course.
थोड़ा सा बीच में देखा था.
I saw the ending part, obviously the most intense part.
I mean, हालात खराब हो गए. I think cricket wise हमारे we're like we don't know how to behave. Like
नहीं, this is okay. The thing is कि मेरे ज़हन में ये बात आ रही थी कल के we're playing T20, yaar. That's not really,
Oh no, you're one of those.
No, I appreciate it. I love and I enjoy and everything, but I do feel like when you want to gauge who the better team is, तो फिर वो one day से मुकाबला, and obviously test is बाप, but वनडे में फिर भी पता चलता है कि बेहतर टीम कौन सी है. इसमें एटलीस्ट ये है कि मुकाबला यही है ना कि अफगानिस्तान could have beaten us.
Yeah.
So those chances are always much more fun.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of people who say कि नहीं यार असल मुकाबला तो फिर टेस्ट में पता चलता है प्लेयर का caliber, those sort of statements, and I was like ये होने वाला है इधर भी. But are you stressed about now, like now that we're winning, are you stressed कि bro अब तो semi-final में भी हम आ गए हैं?
More than I expected. इंडिया से जीत गए ना बहुत.
Yeah.
हाँ, इंडिया से जीत गए. नहीं, न्यूजीलैंड भी बहुत important था.
Yeah.
In my book, New Zealand was also very important.
Yeah.
Now I'm content at least.
Okay.
अगर
Alright.
नामीबिया से हार गए तो it's okay.
We're playing Namibia next?
I don't know who we're playing next. नामीबिया या स्कॉटलैंड है ना. दो हमारे ग्रुप में ये रह गया I think.
Okay. It would be fun if we lost to them. We're like, हाँ bro ठीक है यार. बस हो गई मेहनत तुमसे.
I think नामीबिया के against at least हमें अपना extra जो players हैं उनको खिलाना चाहिए. थोड़ा सा उनकी practice हो जाए.
Yeah.
सरफराज को वापस विकेट कीपिंग में लगा के उसको थोड़ा सा.
Speaking of playing against smaller teams, as you mentioned, I live in Ireland. Ireland में किसी को football cricket से परवाह नहीं है. सही है. But when you tell them you're Pakistani, फिर वो पूछते हैं, oh, do you watch cricket? I'm like, हाँ, sort of. Remember when Pakistan came? I was like, yeah, ये सबको पता है कि पाकिस्तानी इधर आए थे और हमने उनको हराया था. वरना they don't care at all about cricket. इनके अपने 2-3 sports हैं, which no one else in the world plays. But ये पता है सब.
रग्बी होता है और क्या होता है? फुटबॉल होता है.
Rugby, football, they're not as big, but they have like Gaelic, Irish football. They have hurling.
Yes,
2-3 इनके.
Which is supposed to be even more extreme and violent than any other sport.
They have these लंबे से hockey type के डंडे, and उससे they pick up the ball and they throw it to someone else.
Lacrosse.
Sort of, yeah, on a football size field. No, the dandi is used to throw the ball to pass. So like you, वो speed उसकी उतनी बढ़ जाती है, sort of, yeah. And then you also use it to like dribble, I'm assuming. And you have to run while bouncing the ball on your dandi. So it's like
this.
Yes.
Like balancing it unscared.
Yes.
Wow.
It is, yeah. I think इसीलिए और कोई नहीं खेलता. But खैर, about your channel, up till 2 weeks ago, I had not seen a single video. I was very aware of your channel, and I knew that, Nazar is a huge fan, and Nazar kept yelling at me to watch it. Nazar from Broadcast Podcast, formerly named, and
vaguely
familiar.
Vaguely familiar. Yes.
Yeah. And Instagram भी मैंने देखा हुआ था, and ARU I knew from the Mosiki podcast, and ये मुझे awareness थी, but कल रात को मैंने कुछ 7 episodes एक साथ देख लिए हैं, and now my mind is exploding because I'm like, this is now
overloaded of comedy.
This is like an extension of that experience. It's like a video chal rahi hai mere samne, but like I have to say, my mistake for not following you guys. Your episodes are like very, very good. I was पहले तो मुझे वो था ना, because jaded old person, I was like, यार इतनी लंबी episode, अच्छा cooking, अच्छा पता नहीं. But then I was like, oh shit, this is insane. Before you started this, did you guys cook at all? Because it seems like, and with no disrespect, it seems like बिल्कुल नहीं आता सब लोगों को cooking, and that's okay.
We could cook like simple dishes like pasta.
No, even I could not cook anything except for अंडा बना लिया.
Same.
Yeah, as he's saying, pasta जो है सिर्फ उबालना. वरना the meat sauce, मैं एक बार जो है, I was living in London, and my parents we were based out of Belgium. So my parents were in Brussels, and I would go to London, and they would send me packets of frozen meat sauce, जो कीमा sauce to pasta के ये ले बेटा, ये freezer में रख लो, ठीक है? Whenever you feel like having घर का खाना, तो boil some pasta for yourself, put in the defrost and eat it.
Okay.
But otherwise, no cooking experience at all.
I'm gonna ask you a few like Tagallufana questions just so that I can figure out the structure. When did this start? 2 साल पहले की वीडियो मैंने देखी है तुम्हारी बिरयानी वाली. I think, which is your first video, perhaps Biryani Pulao. That
We did
whole
4 episodes in the Mango Bars channel before
Right.
that.
right. You guys have some Mango Bars association because I remember Mosiki was linked to Mango Bars in the early days, perhaps. Okay, I've mixed it all up.
Oh,
Great.
man.
I'm very sorry. But now I need to know what happened.
Just triggered it, yaar. He's like,
No, it was something that we started during, I think, Ramzan mein tha na?
Ah.
And so then they were thinking of like doing some kind of show during Ramzan at Mango
Okay.
Bars.
Okay.
Then we started with like 1 episode a week. We did 4 episodes in Mango Bars. That gave us a nice push
Right.
because they had, at that point, they still had a viewership and they still
Right.
had an audience. So us time pe it was good, and then we had that initial push, and then we decided okay, we'll just start our own channel because that took a lot of discussion, right?
it was mainly because के audience जो है Mango Bars की बहुत variety है ना. It's catering to every person.
Yeah.
And it's comedy भी है उसमें कुछ कभी कभार editorial चीजें भी आती हैं तो इतनी सारी आवाम है जो फॉलो कर रही थी तो we were like कि जो चीज हम बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं हमें तो पता भी नहीं था initially what we were trying to make.
Right.
So it was just sort of an improv experiment. And what we realized was, I mean, him and I usually didn't have any chemistry on camera. I mean, that was our first actual, if you watch the Mango Bars ones,
Okay.
those are the initial times that we sort of were on camera, and then we started to have a fun time and we had a good time with the rest of the people behind the camera. तो फिर वो बस करते कराते we realized कि यार हम अपना चैनल अगर बनाए तो हो सकता है इसी मैंगो बाज ऑडियंस से कुछ तो हमारे पास इमीडिएट जंप आ जाएगा.
Yeah.
जो
Did
कि
you,
we saw
did you
like
guys did you know each other? How did you know? How was it you two who were approached by Mango Bars to do this?
we don't knew each other through Mango Bars. We
Achha.
worked what it had been already almost 2 years.
Okay.
So we were in the video team and
Yasser was my boss.
I was
Right.
as a title I was
Okay.
but otherwise sort of we worked on a ton of videos together, a whole lot of videos together, and then after that ये आहिस्ता आहिस्ता शुरू हुआ तो हमने कहा यार इसको सेपरेट चैनल में रख के देखते हैं क्या होता है. We didn't have any actual aspirations के इसको हम कितनी देर किस तरह चलाएंगे क्या होगा वो सारी चीजें. Maybe we're sort of just going about it organically.
Right.
We go through those periods कि यार इसको थोड़ा regular consistent रखना है फिर बीच में और थोड़ी कुछ चीजें आ जाती हैं तो then we again become a little bit irregular, and then as we speak right now an episode is being edited on the side over here.
Right.
Shout out Ebi.
Oh,
Ebi.
yeah, now I know who that is. क्योंकि मैंने वीडियो में नाम सुना इसका. अच्छा, so this is your आज ही सुबह मैंने मोमोज वाली एपिसोड देखी है in which you guys said बस अब हर हफ्ते एक एपिसोड आने वाली है.
Exactly. And that's another thing, we like to make statements that we will not actually follow through on.
Right.
Usually it's just,
That's amazing.
making statements.
Statements.
We like making statements because all YouTubers love making statements, so might as well.
Yeah, I saw there was a 50 million subscriber Q&A as well. I was like, yeah, ये good है.
नहीं असल में हमें 50 मिलियन मिलके फिर वो YouTube ने रिमूव किया था फिर हमने फाइट
अच्छा.
किया हमने कहा कि बकवास, and then we still kept the poster.
Yeah, I mean, your truth is your truth.
Yeah.
When you guys leave, was this like, achha, I was wondering because this has happened pehle. My comparison is like BuzzFeed had some people unke saath badi videos ki, and then when they leave they start their own channel. I don't know Pakistan mein kitna hoga, but is there like some IP kind of conflict ke like Mango Bars is like, bro, ye to hamari production thi, you guys are doing your own thing. Is that a thing, or was Pakistan mein
Don't start
You're asking questions you shouldn't be asking questions like we don't have any kind of say formality or agreement or anything. We just said this is ours and that's that.
Acha.
Because
Okay.
sort of things when sort of things Mango Bars was sort of क्या कह सकते हैं unwinding in a way.
Is Mango Bars gone?
Going to sleep.
Sort of the video team sort of dismantled, and so the videos completely is now an informal, like a skeleton crew, and same goes with the editorial and everything. So it's I think a smaller, more compact team.
Achha.
Because obviously जो जिस किस्म के मार्केट के हालात थे, marketeers and advertisers and all of these things, so it became very difficult to sustain.
Right.
So when they were sort of becoming more lean, as
Yeah.
they say,
Right.
in the most positive way possible. So we sort of went off to our own side and we said bye-bye, and then we just started doing this without any kis tarah karna hai, none of that discussion happened.
Right. And was it, and also because you guys were having fun, so you're like, hum bhi kar lete. There wasn't like, ek din ye hamari naukri ban jayegi if we try hard enough. Us tarah ka, it wasn't that sort of game. Okay.
Because our aspiration is to just get into actual like narrative content. Usme proper serious.
Yeah, because you both have like proper video backgrounds now. AR, I recently, well, not recently, ab to kuch mahine ho gaye, but you did Natasha Nurani's video as well. And I was like, oh shit, AR, to wo podcast wala boy tha, he makes videos. I remain ignorant at a shocking level. But
he's quite the music video aficionado in the Lahore circle, definitely.
Achha.
And slowly penetrating across Pakistan.
That's the best way to put it, I think. Acha. So, but you guys have a team. Like, you have a team. So, is that how?
It's not really. It's like, yeah, I guess it is. We
have a production side of everything also that deals with like commercial work and any of the fun stuff that we want to do also. So
right.
That's Black Parrot. That's me, Bilal, and then everyone else also working on that. So that's always like running. Achha. That's doing all the commercial projects.
Sorry, because I work in like a corporate day job, so मेरा हमेशा ये होता है तो ये setup हुआ कैसे है इनका? Like because like usually my YouTube thing is like it's just one guy with a camera running around doing everything. But like I was like, camera ke piche there's the Bilal, now there's a Tahreem, and Ibi's come and gone. So I was like, achha, it seems like a bigger setup. Are they still with Mango Bars or something else? So okay.
No, we don't have any affiliation with Mango Bars, but the thing is we have at least Ibi is officially like proper full-time with us. Okay. Other than that, everybody else is sort of more flexible, more Tahreem was interning, so is she still interning with us or is she done right now?
She's gone back to university.
She's gone back to university.
Okay. All right. When this started, you guys have on camera very different personalities. I wanted to understand like how much planning has gone into this. Like, did you guys think about this at the start? Okay, like AR is the straight man, Yasser is the hype energy thing. लोगों को ये पसंद आ रहा है, हमें सोचना चाहिए. None of this. मतलब बस होता गया.
Sometimes people come up to us and be like, "Oh, is Yasser actually like?" I'm like, "No, he is actually like that all the time."
Yeah.
Not all the time, but
no, you are.
As much as whenever I feel like it.
He's very shy in front of new people though. Like if in front of new people he's not like himself, then as soon as he's in the kitchen, it's exactly just like that.
Yeah, no, I follow Yasser on Instagram. I'm like, "Ha, bro, ye to boy aisa hai." Matlab, he has high energy guy all the time. But acha, so when you start,
basically planning bilkul bhi nahi thi, in the sense of वही वाली चीज है कि we actually had this get together at my place, and so we just were cooking stuff at home, and friends were making उस वक्त अपना Insta stories and stuff. So I think we had a good time, and so we're like, we can try it out as a Ramzan content. Ramzan में सबसे ज़्यादा food चलता है.
Yeah.
Food content works a lot. So we were like, let's try a cooking show for Ramzan, and we'll try that out and then see where it takes us. And वो वाली चीज है कि it's during the post that we realize, अच्छा, these are the things that are repeat में हो रही हैं, जिसमें मैं बहुत ज़्यादा शोर मचा रहा हूँ and this guy is giving a lot of reactions. So when we started realizing these things in the edit, then we just sort of, and it's not like we play it up or anything, we just do whatever comes naturally, and then that's just very much exaggerated in the edit.
Right.
That's
your edits are...
Post takes the longest, right?
Yeah.
Post takes the longest because even for us, a boring episode can be made into a good episode. That's why we started adding sketches. Yasser had the idea to start adding a lot of skits and make it like any boring moments that we could just make them like something funny.
Or like any kind of a reference that we take, it's like the Family Guy style. Now you just cut to a joke.
Yeah.
Something is mentioned, as random as it may be, you might be able to visually interpret it and make a funny skit out of it, so then it's fun.
Like wo tha na, I don't know which, because now all these videos are merging together in my mind. There was one, I think you were having a daughter and there was North Korea ka news shuru ho gaya tha usme with the subtitles, and I was like, this is like the food thing almost becomes like a side thing कि अच्छा ये हो रहा है background में, also mostly going wrong until at the end it works out, but like just the whole your editing is like बहुत crazy, as in 40 minute की वीडियो अगर बंदा देख ले that's like a lot of commitment that you guys are organically pulling from people. Do people appreciate the jokes? Like, do you think लोगों को समझ आ रहा है, or do you care?
Yes and no.
Right.
As long as we're finding it funny, that's number one. But then we do sort of get those comments where we are pleasantly surprised. अच्छा ये लोगों को पसंद आ रहा है, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, because like, you know, anyone can make like a cooking video. मैंने recipe देखी, मैंने follow कर लिया, I do stuff and that happens. How long? But some of your videos are like 5 hours long. Like the shoot takes like several. बाहर रोशनी थी, फिर रात हो जाती है, and I'm like, ये लोग अभी भी बना रहे हैं.
So it can average anywhere between 3 to 5 hours. Yes, the 5-hour ones are the ones where we are absolutely lazy beach mein. Like we should be usually done within 3 hours,
right?
But we just, you know, we go about doing other things beach mein. कभी बस लेट गए, कभी और चीजें चल रही हैं बीच में, बैटरी के इश्यूज आ रहे हैं, कार्ड्स के इश्यूज आ रहे हैं, लाइट चली जाती है, इस तरह की जब चीजें होती हैं तो फिर हमारा शूट 5 घंटे ही चला जाता है, या रेसिपी बहुत लाइक वो है, कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है, like the cheesecake or the lasagna type चीजें जो or like stuff that we do from scratch.
Croissants should have been 3 days. We put it into 5 hours.
Yeah.
So bro, that's where we try also to speed it up.
The croissants thing, it's a spoiler if you haven't seen the episode, but end में जो I loved Boy Bawarchi ki jo shocked expression tha na when having the, it's like, I cannot believe you guys did so well. And I think I had stepped away when you were describing the prank, and when I came, I was like, yeah, ye nahi tha inka kaise. I was that impressed as well. I was like, how did they pull this off? And boy का तो mind explode हो रहा था कि मतलब भाई ये कैसे कर लिया लोगों ने.
He was me thinking some shit when
yeah, he was like मैं तो shit हूँ कि अगर इन्होंने पहली दफा. But yeah, I mean, that was great. What I wanted to know is, how do you decide what to make a video on? Because there's like so many things, because you're not restricting yourself to Pakistani cuisine or mushkil ya asan, because dal chawal bhi hai. Also dal chawal took you guys ages, and I was like, I don't know how to cook, but I think it's the time nahi lagta. But then there's also like pizza dough se start ho raha hai, croissants as well. So do you have like I think I'll keep asking if you have like a plan and a process.
Again, it's mostly just on a week-to-week basis. मैं अभी AR से पूछूंगा क्या बनाना है next. Usually AR is slightly finicky one. नहीं यार इसका mood नहीं कर रहा है, या let's make this.
Okay.
So usually whatever he sort of directs towards, then we decide on that.
It's also how much time we have. So sometimes we'll be like, no, we don't have that much time on that day, so let's do a quick one. And then we say, let's do a quick one like dal chawal. Then it takes 7 hours. And I'm like pulling out our hair.
We've been meaning to make nehari with Asad, Dr. Saab ke saath, through like a Zoom type thing.
Right.
Because he gave me like when I went to Karachi last time, he gave me like a nehari mix, which him and his mother made together. And so I have that mix in my bag since now. It's been, I think, almost 2 months or so.
Right.
And so I've been meaning to make that. But again, we will चीज़ है कि निहारी की जब भी हम बात शुरू करते हैं, it's like, oh, it's going to take this many hours. So we're like, चलो, we don't have that many hours right now. So we have to take, and we have to dedicate a day to just be able to make that dish.
Even though our best episodes are usually the very technical, very difficult to make.
And the very desi, the wide, broad, appealing desi dishes work the best.
Does that?
Like biryani and kadai.
Biryani
no, not kadai actually. Kadai don't do that well.
Bro, kadai wali episode mein also the pressure cooker tension. Like you guys really, huh?
Have you ever used a pressure cooker?
I have seen it being used, and I know, like I also know कि फट जाता है और लोग मर चुके हैं. And I was like I feel like I was feeling that tension fully. कि I was like, हाँ, मैंने बहुत videos देखी हैं YouTube पे of cooking and stuff, but like I don't know what to do when it's done, how do you release the pressure safely? मुझे नहीं पता. And then Yasser shows up wearing like a helmet और दरवाजा मुंह के सामने खोला हुआ है. I was like, this is going to go wrong.
I genuinely thought something can go wrong.
Yeah.
So usme bhi there was an element of fear, but I was like, chalo, it's for content. Let's see what happens. Whatever will happen, it will be captured forever.
Yeah.
And
Rip.
Either we'll laugh about it or we'll be like, we were
अच्छा बंदा था
really
Yasser
messed up.
यार.
Exactly. In memoriam.
R.I.P. Yasser police sketch at the end of it.
Exactly.
You're sad piano music. Yeah.
So in terms of the audience reaction, as you guys have done, more and more videos, I think you have like 26, 27 videos or something, around 30, close to, over 2 years. Do you think
over 2 years?
Yeah.
I think I said that a bit more than I intended. Lekin, how has your video making changed? Because your length has been the same, and your insanity in between the things has also been the same. Have you guys noticed कि पहले हमारी videos का scene थोड़ा कुछ और था as we're going to the flow? Because when I talk to creative people, I'm like trying to figure out their process as well. Like if someone else wants to try it, they're like, अच्छा maybe हम भी ये सोच लें. So because initially you guys were also doing this, this is fun. It did well, sort of, when we tried it with Mango Buzz, but now we're doing this in our own company, and now it's on you. So we have to keep making videos at whatever frequency. Thoda sa, have to think about this, because I'm sure it's fun and you're casual about it, but also you guys are professionals. So you can't be fully casual about the thing, right? Have your have your priorities, have your considerations changed, altered over as you've made more and more videos? Like pehle ka mahal kya tha and what was like?
I think they're always fluctuating.
Yeah.
They're always fluctuating, but like for me, like I've stepped back from the edits completely. Like I think after the pasta episode, so it's been a good year probably.
Yeah.
Then I stepped back. So then, but Yasser's a super perfectionist.
Okay.
Like the edits are like, I will send Yasser and I'll be like, it's fine.
Yeah.
And Yasser will be like, no, and he'll come back with an email this long of changes. So when you're talking about like the idea of like it, like for the edits are really tough, I think. And he's the one who squeezes out every single last bit of comedy. Like I remember the North Korea bit where we're driving and then the car, then he just edited in a thing of the car going off a cliff. And then North Koreans being extremely sad at their Kim Jong-un leader dying. But it's just a picture of us. For me, that's probably one of the funniest things we've done, and it came out of like absolutely nothing. Like there was nothing there actually. I would never have edited that thing in. So that comedy aspect was something I think you took from Mango Buzz maybe, or all of that experience that we had.
Just memifying something that maybe there was nothing there, but just making something out of nothing. Yeah.
And then I think you passed that on to Ibby, and now it's kind of continuing through that thing. So. But Shuru mein though we had that 8-bit aesthetic, video game aesthetic, and every time we put in an ingredient, like 8-bit.
Yeah.
Well, Shuru mein, I think the cooking aspect was of some importance, and then over time we're like, there's plenty of recipe videos, plenty of cooking videos on the internet. हम कोई value add कर नहीं रहे.
Yeah.
The most that we can do is what we specialize in, which is just having a good time and making something that can hopefully be entertaining.
Yeah.
तो हमने फिर यही उस पे ज़्यादा focus करना शुरू कर दिया over time. So we said to hell with ingredients, to hell with recipe, just do whatever is fun, and just like that. Eventually, it became more of a thing of, because we started getting a lot of comments. We also have started to now step into the kitchen. So like that's interesting, like if we can do it, then other people are getting inspired. Number one. Number two, we love those comments where it's like, oh, I watched the episode with, my parents or my siblings or my cousins, or like if it's a group thing, that makes it even more like, appreciated by us at least.
Yeah, and also I think because that edit wali baat that you were saying squeezes all the comedy out of it, like you really need that consistently throughout the episode and tight, because episode be like now it's like you have 45-minute episodes as well. And are you thinking in terms of, bro, we need to space it out ताकि retention हमारी रहे? Are those sort of things a concern? Right.
I think again we've been through all of these discussions way too much during our Mango Bars times, and it was very वही वाली चीजें, it was very strategic, and ये सारी चीजें analytics में बहुत ज़्यादा हम ध्यान देते थे, हर चीज में हम बहुत ज़्यादा घुसते थे, and it just over time eventually there is वही वाली चीजें जो लोग बात करते हैं ना, burnout and getting sick and tired of whatever you're doing, and it becomes too repetitive and all those things, and it's like we're like just make whatever is fun, yeah. Just put it out, and we really, of course, we would love for there to be better retention, and we would love for there to be more number of views and subscribers and all of that. Sure. But and वो वाली चीज़ है कि बीच-बीच में कभी बार वो ख्याल आता है यार, थोड़ा सा इसके ऊपर फोकस कर लो. As soon as I watched recently the Mr. Beast podcast with the Colin and Samir guys, so he was like talking about retention like anything. Yeah. So I was like to AR, chalo, now we have to work on retention. Yeah. That lasted maybe a week. And then after that, we were back to the same old ways of just make it and put it out. Make it and put it out. Because मेरा एक और इसमें सोच ये है कि the long game, people who play the long game will always win. So I'm not personally looking at it as a week to week or a month to month or even a year to year thing. I would love it that if he's game, if I'm game, if we can both keep this going on for 10 years, 20 years, right? Then we will become a household name.
Naito, what steps, like, are you taking anything, bro? If I continue this will become a long lasting thing. Because you have experience in, fully corporate as a YouTube setup can be sort of seen, and now you're doing your own thing. So if you want that long game wali thing, because everyone I've spoken to, they're like, they follow Mr. Beast wala idea. Okay, they're like, bro, देखो इसने इतने पैसे खर्च किए और इसकी वीडियो के इतने व्यूज आए, डायरेक्ट कोरिलेशन, और इसने वीडियो इतनी टाइट की, इतना, like, people I've been on a podcast where people have spoken only about क्लिप की ड्यूरेशन इतनी, हम पॉडकास्ट करेंगे 20 मिनट का, ताकि अगर कोई 5 मिनट भी देख ले तो दैट्स लाइक इतनी % रिटेंशन, और फिर YouTube रेकमेंड करेगा एंड आई मेक अ क्लिप इज 30 सेकंड्स. आई वाज लाइक 20 मिनट में तो सलाम दुआ होती रहती है. या वो
ये सारी होती है. I've been through all of this now.
So what is the difference between this then and the impact it creates, and if that's short term versus not thinking about it? Because like I want to push, if I can, ye long term wala plan more rather than retention ke bare mein socho aur ye socho.
See, again, where we differ from other content creators is that we're not really relying on Cooking Chaos as our source of income. Yeah. So that's why at least AR is working as, doing corporate work and all of that, advertising work, branded work, all that type of stuff with Black Parrot. And I'm sort of, entrepreneur with family stuff ongoing on the side, but as the main thing. Right. So we're not relying financially on this. Because of that, we can actually crack those jokes about trying to get a sponsor every episode. Yeah, and be like, isn't a sponsor karna hai, to is tarah and it's just a YouTube thing, right? So there came a point where AR and I did discuss seriously कि यार अगर sponsor आता है तो should we? And we're not really fully, on board of actually bringing on a sponsor, because essentially what we suffered through with other brands, or what AR tends to suffer through on a day-to-day basis these days, is what I want to avoid with Cooking Chaos. At least Cooking Chaos के साथ ये है कि it's genuinely like we know कि हमें कोई सरदर्दी नहीं है इसमें, it's only a good time. Because that happens, it translates on the screen, and because that translates, I feel like sure we have a very nice small niche audience, but it will only grow. Yeah. All it requires is time, and just keep at it. Just keep at it. As long as ये दोस्ती रहेगी तो Cooking Chaos चलता रहेगा, और Cooking Chaos चलता रहेगा तो फिर audience आ ही जाएगी. And my goal, at least personally, he again doesn't really believe it will ever happen, But my goal is, inshallah, we move this show onto a mainstream TV channel one day.
Wow. Yeah.
If हमारी audience जो है कभी उस चीज को मानने के लिए तैयार है, if all the aunties and the ladies in the cooking channels want to welcome us, so that would be just such an amazing achievement to get on Masala TV or something like that.
It will have to be. Have you ever had any like serious conversations with people about this? You don't have to answer. अच्छा चलो ठीक है. But हाँ, because when I was watching it, I was like, bro, when ये TV पे आएगा ना, तो like so many people who are not on YouTube will get into this just because of the vibes. And but वो है ना कि how do you maintain the vibes and the chaotic nature?
That's the biggest dilemma ना, कि even if we were to go, then there would be अच्छा ये joke आप नहीं कर सकते, ये बहुत ज़्यादा वो हो जाएगा.
And also our audience is very young, right?
Yeah,
like, it's not a TV watching audience.
Yeah,
it's a very like YouTube audience, I think.
Yeah. Achha, but also the thing you were mentioning about you guys don't.
But that's where I feel like we would have a midnight slot on the Masala TV,
वो जैसे जब वो आया था ना 90s में, when Conan O'Brien started, his show was like chaos, but it was like a late night show, तो 12 बजे तो वो शुरू होता था. So they were like, who cares कौन देख रहा है, like no one's really watching, we'll do just insane stuff.
Exactly. I think we should come on at like वही जो 12-1 बजे के स्लॉट में जाना चाहिए, because I feel like उस वक्त जो है सबसे ज्यादा वेले लोग ही टीवी देख रहे होते हैं, because they don't have anything, they're just like flipping through channels, and if we come across, they might give us a try. Yeah,
and उस वक्त तो एड्स का प्रेशर नहीं होगा चैनल पे कि भाई ये नेस्ले का एड चल जाएगा इस शो के अंदर. तो I was thinking about the thing you mentioned, ke, you guys have day jobs or mainstream jobs, and therefore Cooking Chaos is not you're not depending on it for income. But then Pakistan mein, most people starting YouTube are not depending on YouTube for income, because how many people are making a living off of YouTube in Pakistan? Like 20
only the people who have over 1 million subs, I think.
Because CPM to hamara hai nahi. Sponsorship जो है वो कभी कभार आती है, and a lot of that is apparently Instagram focused. But
now,
but everyone focuses on numbers, retention, duration so much, as if के आपने वो unlock कर लिया तो बस पैसे ही पैसे. And it's not good. I don't know, I just wonder about that, Nick, because it becomes like, are you thinking about this as a business or as a creative venture first? And that sort of dictates what is going on.
And that usually translates across on the content also,
Yeah.
And that's wherein I feel like the amount of loyalty you get from your audience also either remains extremely strong if you are true to your nature, or if you start to then become too much of a sellout, जो कि हर एक को होना होता है. That's what I'm saying. Na? It's how you are able to balance it.
Having worked with brands before for this sort of video production, and also currently AR, you are working with brands. As of right now, do you think Cooking Chaos will have to change if like a brand comes tomorrow, like a stereotypical brand, not like any one in particular, just based
so
on
far,
your
we've only worked, like I can say happily we've worked with JJ, Johnny and Jugnu, because or as / Wabi actually. Wabi. So
they were really good actually,
because they get us, number one, and that's why they wanted us to make an episode with them, and that's why it just translates as a fun episode.
I'm thinking like
usual typical sponsored episode hota hai.
I'm thinking like in terms of like if like a big chai company or milk company is like, actually these guys are doing well, हमें इनको sponsor करना चाहिए. Do you think they'll come in with like आपकी videos हमने देखी हैं, अगर आप इसको ऐसा करते हैं, इसको वैसा करते हैं? Do you think they will?
Most likely, I would expect that. But it again depends on whoever the brand manager is, or the account manager is, because usually they dictate. देखना industry में 2 किस्म के advertising के लोग हैं. एक वही हैं जो थोड़े से disruptors हैं, बहुत rare हैं, but they do want to sort of take a chance, take a risk, do something creative. very rare are those people actually being true to what then they communicate. But most people, in my opinion, again, I'm gonna, he probably needs to distance himself from me. But I feel like most people are just ये अपना नौकरी चल रही है ना लोगों की, तो उन्होंने अपना प्रमोशन के लिए काम करना है, और प्रमोशन के लिए काम करने के लिए they get certain budgets allocated and they have to utilize those budgets in certain manners, and then they have to get metrics behind those budgets, and then they have to give reports and feedback to their higher ups, and those higher ups have to give it to their higher ups, and so it's an ever flowing cycle in that way, in which literally the content is
not
it
even
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Numbers
so but what happens is that these same agencies and brand managers get involved in the content as though it does matter. Oh my god, no, it does. But then the way they play with it, as a creator, you think it, like literally they don't give a shit. They are ruining, essentially, if they've hired us, they're ruining us.
Coming back to the cooking stuff, having made all these videos, do you think, have you guys, in your minds gotten better at cooking? Like just from a technical perspective, itni videos karke, like do you find yourself doing it a lot more at home? I think so. Yeah. So have you started cooking outside of this as well?
No.
Right. Acha. Okay. Because I had like this other food YouTuber on, Ethan Schlebowski, a long time ago, and he was like a cooking type enthusiast first, and then he started making it. So his whole thing became about productivity, or kitchen kaise setup hona chahiye, and then different types of knives, blah blah blah, whatever. But you guys are not. Are you thinking of going deeper into that area?
Like what you'd explain, that's basically a person has a certain talent and passion, and then they make content on it.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people do. Ours is, our talent or passion is not cooking, it's more the chaos, it's more the entertainment aspect.
Yeah.
So cooking is merely targeting, sorry?
It's just a setting.
It's a setting. Or it's targeting also all the people who like watching, which a lot of people love watching food content. I love watching food content. So, us lihaz se, I do feel like because we've been making Cooking Chaos, I do watch a lot more cooking content. Like there was a phase where we both got into a lot of Bon Appetit,
Right.
episodes, and the test kitchen stuff, and all of that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So,
but does that mean that you could be doing something else? But chaos, just do you two guys in some other situation? Have you thought about it?
Beach mein AR had pitched this concept, let's make a table out of scratch, like with wood. So it was going to become carpentry chaos or something. So we were thinking inside a cooking episode, we literally make a little quick segment ke jis table pe abhi hum baith ke khana khayenge, us table ko hum khud hi banayenge. So let's make a carpentry chaos segment inside the Cooking Chaos episode, and then we'll actually make it with our own bare hands, and let's see what comes out of that.
Yeah, because considering your personalities are so important to the whole production, to the whole idea of the thing, and your edits when jo inserts वगैरह होते हैं, you guys could do. It doesn't have to be cooking, even though that's great. You could. Yeah. Do you think you will? Like how again वही वाली बात है ना कि how much are you planning ahead? But like, do you think you'll change?
Maybe. I think so. I think we're not married to cooking in any like real way. It could be woodworking. It could be like we also had an idea to do like some kind of vloggy aspect, just because these episodes take these guys a long time to edit. Like the edit's very intense. So just to ease off that pressure, if you want to, obviously like when we're talking about like YouTube metrics and stuff, one of the main things is just consistency, right? So it's tough to edit an episode like this in a 40-minute, 30-minute thing
on a weekly basis.
So in between there might be a vloggy aspect. So it doesn't have to be. It might be food related. Probably like going to have some, tasting out some things. But I don't think it has to be cooking related.
Right. Another cliched question I ask people all the time is, एक ज़माने में आपने शुरू किया था, you were very enthusiastic and your audience was also enthusiastic. After a while, you cross this like threshold of subscribers, and now there's like completely unrelated people who had no idea of your work beforehand. They aren't in on the joke, they come in, and कभी कभार लोगों के लिए माहौल थोड़ा change हो जाता है when they start getting famous. How has your audience experience been? You're at like 25,000 subscribers nearly. That's a lot. Like, that's not your friends. That's not like your social circle. That's like so many people. Has your audience experience, have you guys looked into that? How has that feedback, interaction, relationship been? Video to video, subscriber to subscriber?
It's been very positive. Like,
Yep.
we've been very, very blessed that way ke people who are watching us get us. Like, unko genuinely maza aata hai watching our episodes. And what I enjoy the best is ke our episodes have a good analytics mein ye bhi hame dikhaya gaya ki we have a good number of repeat watchers. So people are watching our episodes more than once, and that's like, I think, the greatest gauge for that's essentially what we want. Okay, you should want to, because there's so much there. Okay, you can't actually process everything in just one viewing. So it's obviously the best that we can get repeat watchers.
I feel like they're also very like they're kind of our cheerleaders as well. Like they enjoy the content, and obviously like it's a big investment for them to spend 40 minutes on a video. Like that's like if they're watching the whole thing. One of the things we started doing recently is we started saying, if you reach this part of the episode, leave a comment like this, and then we're like, wow, quite a few people do finish the video.
The YouTube thing to do,
like an Easter egg. Okay.
And so they become our cheerleaders in the sense that they're also like, why are these guys not good enough views? Why are these guys not good enough?
That's true. Yes.
Yeah.
Which हम भी यही रोड रहे थे.
हमारे पास आराम से अभी तक 500,000 हो जाने चाहिए थे. आराम से.
Subscribers.
आराम से.
Right. But then what is holding you back, do you think? Like, why don't you have 100,000 subscribers? It's not, I don't think it's just that you're not making videos that regularly, because like jitni lambi video hai, and
as you said yourself na, it's a big commitment, and even if it in terms of as content goes also, it's not really the most awami piece of entertainment. It sort of does, we're very sarcastic at times, we're very पता नहीं इसमें वो simple joke नहीं है जो कि most like at least working during our Mango Bars time, it was like you touch upon the listicle of things that are the most relatable is the most important thing to me. Okay, I mean, we are relatable but also not,
right
because like हम जैसे हमारा जैसा content इतना ज़्यादा है नहीं on the internet. You have a lot of skit comedy creators, you have a lot of roasters, you have a lot of pranksters, you have a lot of now you have a lot of podcasts also. So all of these different varieties of content are well established with the audience. और हमारा कुछ बीच में वही वाली चीज़ है ना, it is in a way a cocktail of various things going on. So कोई भी आता है तो I think initially it takes them time to even understand what we are.
I think because roasters, like you mentioned, they also I guess fall under comedy in Pakistan. So वो people can understand चाहिए ले रहे हैं इस बंदे की ना, मतलब that's the idea.
और लोगों को people वो चीज़ देखना बहुत पसंद है, of course.
They love it so much. And I was like, अच्छा यार मतलब इतना, but like I guess what I was also thinking was, do you think there are some inherent limitations placed by the nature of your comedy? You sort of have to be like internet literate, something,
It is a niche also, like we have issue, like I have issues speaking Urdu in that kind of way, so I just end up defaulting to English. That's an issue, I guess, for some. Even though it's not been that much of an issue.
नहीं, हाँ, ये हमने वैसे address तो किया था बहुत early on, because we had the first episode come out and then immediately people were commenting about AR's
fake accent.
use of his British fake accent, as they would put it. So this was, as soon as, this is what I'm glad about, that as soon as we faced any kind of questioning or any negativity at all, we addressed it face on. And we did like this type of a fun little Q&A with each other. And then in the subsequent episode, people just went, and the comments went double, and they went nuts about, no, AR, you're the best, keep at it, you're trying your best, your Urdu sucks, but it's okay, as long as you keep at it. Nahi, is tarah. Everybody was like, how dare anybody question AR's accent, all that.
I mean, personally
we found
speaking,
that extremely sweet, huh?
Personally speaking, my exposure to AR was primarily through the Mosiki podcast. I was like, "Achha, theek hai, boy, English medium hai." But Cooking Chaos wali videos dekh ke, I was like, "Nahi, isko काफी उर्दू आती है, मतलब इसको, like it's not like he's not fluent. He might be more comfortable in English."
With time, it's gotten better. Just like our cooking skill, even his Urdu has gotten better, because he, not only in front of the camera, but overall in the market now, he's gaining a lot of experience working with people now. So jitna zyada he's working with people, he's handling with those issues. जब कोई भी बंदा, जब भी इसका कोई issue होता है, तो बंदा कहता है कि हो जाएगा जी, तो इसको पता है अब हो जाएगा जी का मतलब हो जाएगा नहीं. Now he also presses them.
Yeah, his outburst, frustration wali outburst, जो है ना, सारी उर्दू में है AR की. So I was like, no, he gets it. What? So then you guys, I guess, also because you don't have इस तरह का, thoughts and feelings wala content, like you're not making vlogs or story time, so people are not like, आपने कश्मीर के बारे में बात क्यों नहीं की, and why don't you speak up? You don't have that tension at all.
We don't have that pressure of Irfan and Eju pressure.
बेचारे की बहुत मुश्किल जिंदगी, and I've turned it into like.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Now, Mangobas time pe we had that pressure. So because Mangobas was extremely vocal on everything, so it essentially became, जब भी कोई चीज होती थी और अगर किसी चीज में ज्यादा नहीं touch upon होता था, तो यही होता था, exactly that. And or if we did, have these type of, couple of times there was interaction with certain creators, and then that backlash happened because creators के साथ नहीं बनी कोई बात, तो creators ने Mangobas के बारे में कह दिया, तो वो backlash आया. तो वो तो उस टाइम पे तो ये सारी चीजें होती थी, and we obviously, those things also we sort of, I would say, back of our heads, we learned from those. But हमारा purely हम ज़्यादा वो वाली चीज़ है, we don't also get into our feelings or personal lives too much. The amount that you see is basically the amount that is in the kitchen, and so we have vloggy aspects, and we like to crack personal jokes also, but we don't like get into it as a deep dive. Okay, this is what we're going through right now, or this and that, and what do you guys feel, and stuff like वो हम जाते ही नहीं है. It's
but consciously,
if you're clicking on, it's consciously and not really making. It's just, it is what it is. We're trying to.
Even if one of us was actually going through depression, it would come through as a joke.
Exactly.
It would be a skit in the episode. Yes, is depressed, or
I'm going to a therapist, and we would have that therapy session probably filmed. And I would probably discuss genuinely my problems, and I would probably get the worst feedback ever, and that would be the comedy.
No, I think that would be amazing. Do you think you're going to do creators? Se mujhe ek idea aur aaya. Have you guys considered bringing other people on, like a cameo sort of thing?
Like a
celebrity cameo?
Oh yeah, like another your YouTuber friend or something.
See, like when you're asking that, did you do any planning? Of course I did planning. I had initially, when we started the show, I had my entire Mangobas thinking with the show now. So I was like, okay, this is how we're gonna do this. We're going to eventually bring on some celebrity cameos, because that's gonna drive in the audience and blah blah blah.
Right.
And then I realized, okay, celebrity cameos, we've had those experiences in the past, and they actually don't bring in the quality audience that you want. They bring in essentially that audience, which then later on becomes toxic, questioning, or as let's say what you asked earlier also, now the Kashmir issue and what Irfan went through with his audience. कि जब बड़ी audience अचानक से आ जाती है ना, then you are in a very difficult position. Sure, okay, you have a greater audience, and yes, the brands will come. Yes, that aspect of your professional career will take off, but then it becomes a professional career only.
Yeah.
And to maintain this as a content as your professional career then becomes a very
also we
it's
always
a delicate balance.
We always wanted like any celebrity to come on to be on our terms, right? So not like if a brand comes to us and says, can you do an episode with a celebrity, but you have to do it in a nice kitchen, and no, like it should be in this dirty ass kitchen.
Yeah,
they should also just be sat there under the.
And we spoke about this in the ice cream episode. We said we have a friend who came over. Her name is Myra. So we're like, Myra Khan aa rahi hai, yaar. Myra Khan aayegi, and she's gonna, she's launching a new ice cream business. And so Myra came, and we're like, so this is actually our friend Myra. It's not Myra Khan.
Yeah.
But if the actual Myra Khan did come, we'd be like, she'd sit right over here in the stool right next to us. And there'll be no makeup, there'll be no costume change, none of that nonsense.
Yeah.
The way she comes, that's the way she needs to be, because that's
and we'd
our
still
show.
Be cracking Hitler jokes.
Yes. Still crack whatever.
No, but like, not just celebrities. Like you said, Asad gave you this Nihari masala mix. So you're like, Asad, tum aao. You do this.
Asad has appeared in an episode before also. He sent us a little snippet.
Muru came for a tasting.
And
he was there for a tasting.
He was there for his podcast, and I said, let's get Muru for the tasting.
Which then I haven't even released. I had 4 or 5 podcasts that died. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
Are you not doing the podcast? Side question. Are you not doing the podcast anymore, AR? What is this like?
Isn't that sad though?
Yeah, I like them a lot. So yeah, so why
it was just one of those things. Okay, focus. It was my focus to be doing that, and then I just like lost that interest.
Okay, but if you have episodes like
sitting on them,
I have some. Yeah.
Just put it like, because like now maybe they're a bit dated also.
Now I feel embarrassed. I feel too embarrassed.
Manu ke saath hai, Muru ke saath.
Manu ne मुझे बोला है ना कि ये नहीं release करना क्योंकि too much has happened.
Natasha के साथ था?
नहीं Natasha. Muru, Zeb.
Yes, Zeb के साथ था.
Wow.
और एक
Hamza bin Tahir.
Yes.
What you should do is do new episodes with these people. And say कि पिछली एपिसोड में आपने ये बात की थी, and then you use a clip from that episode. तो इस तरह वो भी इस्तेमाल हो जाएगी. But
वो नहीं आएंगे, वो आइंदा नहीं आएंगे. वो कहेंगे no way. What are you trying to do? Like वो जो नहीं होता है वो क्या Billie Eilish did a year on year.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, she did a question every year, same set of questions. Well, Vogue, I think.
How many followers did you have last year?
Yeah.
2,000. How many million? It's like 2 million now. Yeah. Next time it's like 2 billion now.
Yeah. Are you thinking of? You mentioned कि ऐसी kitchen में आएगी, यहीं बैठेगी, सब कुछ होगा. Do you think if you like decide एक दिन कि we're going to invest in like production value up करनी है हमें for some reason?
Then I'm over होंगे actually.
Then
we're going to go way over.
Yeah.
Then even there I've had this thought कि हमें essentially शुरू इस तरह करना चाहिए before we even get our cooking show on TV, which will be overly produced. We need to get on to a morning show.
Right.
Like a segment.
Right.
Like a Nida Yasser के साथ segment कर लिया.
Yeah. That's great. Because like, again, going back to the Conan example, he would have chefs on. And chef to काम कर रहा है, but Conan is like that chaotic element over there, just throwing stuff and putting food on himself and that sort of thing. It could work. So, but
or if that also doesn't happen, we'll make Cooking Chaos a segment of a morning show that we'll create the morning show first, and then we'll make Cooking Chaos a segment of that. And we'll actually hire a host, like, somebody else, some auntie or some lady to host a morning show. Yeah. And then we'll produce all the other segments with other people, and then we'll have our cooking segments. Just so I always believe in showing as an example is better than pitching or discussing with people, because people will never understand what's in your mind.
Yeah, show don't tell, basically.
So exactly. So what I want is let's make our own morning show, or let's make our own traditional. हमने ये भी discuss किया था कि live studio के सामने एक cooking show episode करते हैं.
Right.
So that's also sort of somewhere in the brain के जब वो मिलेगा तो वो भी बनाना है.
वो 5 घंटे का shoot नहीं हो सकता. Like if you have a
नहीं हम करेंगे उसमें हम audience को rotate करते रहेंगे हर घंटे.
दरवाजा lock कर दो. नहीं, you're not going. अच्छा, But then you've thought about all again. We go back to the thing though, like you have these ideas, but also you're saying कि हम हर हफ्ते सोच लेते हैं कि अच्छे इस हफ्ते क्या बनाना है, क्या mood हो रहा है. So how is that balance going to work? Okay, like because these ideas are also good. It's not like ये हम एक corporate progression सोच रहे हैं type of thing. But do you think is this going to be happening anytime soon? Do you think? Because then you'll have to push for it internally.
Yeah. It's like we have to push for certain things. Like, see, I'll give another example. We've had this donut episode that's been sitting around for a very long time, also, just like his podcasts. And so
I've seen clips of this in between.
Yeah. So I feel like as soon as we release the donut episode, that's when we can start exploring the other ideas, because then those will one up the other stuff now. So if we have to one up ourselves, so first we'll release the donut cut, then we'll release some thing like a live show or like a live studio segment, and then we'll take it to a morning shows episode all together, and then proceed ahead from there, and hope that one of these days some person in an important position will see something of ours and be like, hey, you know what, let's roll the dice with these guys on something.
Yeah. Okay. But is there a timeline?
We know that brand managers and these people do watch our content.
Yeah.
I've had these conversations.
Some do, yeah, sure.
Some do. Not all of them, obviously, but some do. But it's just one of those things that
it sounds like someone's frying something on my end. It sounds like Shadeed kuch dal diya usme. I can't hear anything.
But yeah, it's eventually they will have to come on our terms. I think that's the main thing.
Yes, we will not be flexible. We are going to behave like the brand.
Because this is the fun thing that we do.
Have you had any conversations already? Yeah, abhi tak you guys are still under the radar.
One brand came on for the episode, and that was cool. They didn't expect anything. They were just like, come try our coffee, put it in the episode. Okay. Because also then it's like that wider, I hate having like this business conversation with people, but somehow it always ends up there every year. Okay, brands to samajhte hi nahi hai, and to scene hi nahi hai, bro. But it's like
kabhi nahi samjhenge.
I'm like, 5 saal se it's been exactly this. So when is it going? And this is like not just individual creator Irfan Junejo ki baat nahi sun rahe. Or well, he's not just a small guy anymore, but like outlets maybe, like for example, if you are an unnamed production house making videos with brand integration, unko bhi masla hai. Like
I feel like somebody was who was Daniel Nurani was talking to you one time, the guy who owns Osmosas in Lahore. He was talking to us and AR he mentioned specifically that, you guys need to get into content creation, or at least his Black Parrot side needs to get clients that are these new startups that are sort of coming in these days. And the more you get in and align yourselves with these startups, I feel like the startup companies could improve the game a bit, could improve the overall market condition, because they might actually work with creators in a better manner, no?
I don't have much positive.
I don't know. I hope.
We have this experience that some of these young people, they get, because they have access to analytics and tools, they have zero in like, they don't want to take any risks. So they think that they know the number.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, you don't know what like sometimes a video does not have a reflection in numbers in that way. But I understand their point, that business people.
Yeah.
But
maybe also from a startup perspective, like you can at least hope that they're more internet literate, like they know set up kaise chalta hai, and they might.
I think it's one of those. It's that Frank Zappa quote, right? Where he's like, the music titans of when they had no idea what the Beatles were about, when they had no idea, when there were these old guys at the top of these record labels,
right?
No idea what new music is. They were like, okay, we're just going to give money to these young musicians because they seem to be tapping into something. Then when the young guys came in, they were like, oh no, we know what the young cool kids like.
Right.
And they were even more like fascist about like, no, that's not the right music. People won't like that music. They were like,
they were more judgmental than the old guys.
Ho gaya unko basically.
And they were more conservative than the old reactionaries that were there before. So
That's
feel
very
like
interesting.
I think that's usually the thing that ends up happening. That these young startup guys come in, but they feel like they know we know what the zeitgeist, what the people want. We don't know what the people
No,
want.
but see, the difference between what you're saying that applies to the States and where we are is that in the States, they produce the Frank Zappas and all those, amazing musicians. We're not in that same, thing. So even the people who don't know are being overly analytical and overly everything, and then just like ruining everything.
You can't afford to fail at all. Pakistan.
Yeah.
Pakistan it's like ya to you survive or khatam, like zero scene ho gaya. America, like if we're talking about music industry, itni badi hai ki you can invest in like a weirdo.
In 100 artists and one artist might become, cover the cost of those 99 others.
Yeah, और वो 99 को भी थोड़ी audience मिल ही जाएगी because इतने लोग हैं, इतनी बड़ी market है. But Pakistan में I guess, yeah, somehow I end up being like Pakistan में music industry की revival कैसे होगी हर episode. Every argument leads to that question.
Yeah.
What is?
But then even I think that 25,000 people want to watch 45-minute long cooking videos. Like when you think about it like that, it's kind of
that's unusual. That's like against all YouTube like advice or playbooks.
Yeah.
Like choti video banao, make it quick.
What our new strategy should be, we should just forget the Pakistani market, just target India and Bangladesh and the other these big markets.
Have you thought about, because that is also something people say. They're like, bro,
of course, no, everybody has those thoughts, but then wo karna itna aasan. I think wohi wali baat hai ki our bigger creators have sort of gotten some good number of audiences from India also.
नहीं, but some big creators also like, bro, Pakistan में तो पता नहीं क्या future है, मैं English में videos बनाना शुरू कर देता हूँ.
हाँ, ये भी है.
Yeah, is that? But again, you guys aren't thinking about it as analytically at this stage. You're keeping the chemistry first.
He brings the English, I bring in some Urdu. मेरा भी mix ही है.
It's a cliched question. Of all the videos, episodes, recipes that you've made, regardless of what people understand, which has been the easiest, maybe even outside of your expectations, and which seems fine but was like the biggest nightmare to get done? Both in terms of the cooking, the editing. Does anything stand out?
Donuts is definitely one of the toughest.
Yes. That's why it's not released yet.
Yeah.
Donuts being the one you guys did over Zoom, lockdown pay.
Yes, that had so many technical issues that's why, because
this was during the quarantine now. Yeah. So he was in Ahmedabad, I was over here, so we did that in that manner. And watching two people fail in two same recipe was even the biggest failure. But again, it's not to say that हम failure की वजह से release नहीं कर रहे. It's just because the edit is so big in that way. Okay, I had 2 camera angles on myself. He had 2 camera angles, so there's 4 camera angles, 2 sound clips. So उसका timeline काफी tough है manage करना.
And the Skype,
video, yes,
which is completely out of sync because the audio, the internet was bad, and so it's got like a 10 frame.
Right.
Yeah.
Just terrible, awful technical things that are slowing down the edit, and then uske baad, but also
then we just sort of became lazy and gave up and moved on to other episodes. And so coming back to it is
then it became a bit, right? It became a comedy bit.
It became a comedy bit. Then.
At the time, the Snyder Cut stuff was going on.
Yes.
We related it back to releasing the donut cut.
Yes.
The donut cut, right.
Okay. So obviously, when we release it, it's going to be a 4-hour long black and white.
Of course.
4:3.
Yeah. Ajahn, what's been the easiest, or are they all the same level of easy?
In terms of the edit, they're pretty much the same.
Yeah,
I would say there hasn't really been. In fact, it's just become more and more and more, complicated and fun.
Right.
So more and more intense, more number of cuts, but it's also more fun then. But I would say, the early ones I think were the easiest ones.
Recipe wise.
Yeah, recipe wise. No, not recipe wise. In terms of the content creation side.
Recipe wise too.
Recipe wise, the Dalgona coffee would probably be the easiest one, which he still failed.
Do you think there's like a ceiling like कि हम वीडियो कितनी लंबी हो सकती है, हम कितने उसमें gags डाल सकते हैं.
Yasser would make it 2 hours if he could.
Right.
It's me who's like, please, Yasser Sadakli, please. And he's like, no, it's 50 minutes, it's fine.
Okay.
Because I enjoy those 50 minutes.
Right.
So if I'm watching, if I'm enjoying, I'm like, there's no need to cut anything. Because I feel like it's also the other aspect that I really enjoy is it's like in a way it's like, you know, people write diary. Yeah, people vlog. Actually, a lot of people vlog. I don't vlog, but I feel like these are our little slices of our lives at this point in time, you know. So I feel like jitna zyada phank sakte hain, phankte hain. I'll at least enjoy when I look back 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and I'll be like, yeah, I want more as much as possible.
I'm getting towards the end of the thing. Is there anything important about the show that you want to talk about before I ask you the very important last question? Anything that people don't realize about the production, about your episodes, any upcoming news teasers? Because ये Monday को आ जाएगी. So anything of that sort? Any question people have had?
We're gonna launch an English channel.
What?
Exactly. We'll do it.
And
we'll take the entire episode in English.
We're gonna launch a Chinese channel. Sorry.
That's
How
great.
could I say that? Chinese channel. We're launching a Chinese channel. We are very much looking forward to the entire जिस तरह पाकिस्तान का भी चल रहा है.
We can make racist jokes on our channel. We can't make racist jokes on his channel.
Of course we can. Of course we can.
Yeah,
This
you
is
can.
the latter part.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
If there are now जितने लोग रह गए, they'll appreciate it.
I had taken my glasses off to do a Chinese impression.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. Put them back on.
जिस तरह CPEC चल रहा है, it's very important that we collaborate with our fellow Chinese cooking content creators.
Do you have any
वहाँ पे
fake
YouTube
announcements?
तो नहीं है, लेकिन जो भी है वो उनके साथ हम कुछ collab करना चाहते हैं. So we are now reaching out to any Chinese people out there who want to collab with us.
Yeah. And they all watch this TPR pod.
Yeah, we have Fawad Khan and Myra Khan coming on the show next.
Yes, they want
That's
to
good.
promote their tuck biscuit on our show.
Oh, very good.
So
We're gonna make tuck biscuit
we're going to make tuck from scratch.
and then
Wow.
see if you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
Acha, the very important last question, which you perhaps don't have an answer for, but is, do you have any Jinn stories?
Jinn stories. You know, I was discussing jinns with Adil bhai last night. You know, Kala Jadoo and all this type of stuff. I have no
They don't have to
stories. I
be
don't believe in
personal.
them. I don't have any stories. I don't believe in them, or at least I don't believe them in the sense of they're out there to scare you.
Okay.
I feel like if there are spirits, they're just sort of watching over you, possibly
That's
So
very
doing
positive.
their own.
doing their own thing,
Huh.
like friendly ghost Casper. So I believe in Casper, but anything else, I don't know.
Casper was a child who died. I think people don't think about that as often. Like
he was,
बच्चा मर गया था, पता नहीं.
So dark.
Yes.
Yeah, like बीमारी
Shit,
थी
yeah.
or something. He's like a dead kid. But acha, okay, that's fine. What were you
You have any
discussing?
stories?
I don't have any Jinn stories. My sister had a very scary story that when she was living in London, she would wake up in the middle of the night and she would see, or she would have this extreme feeling of someone being in the room. And she was living in this house in London alone. And then, but she like powered through. She was like, whatever,
That's
it'll be
what
fine. Yeah. But there would be this like what do you call it? Like
A presence?
like just this crazy feeling that there's something in this house. Then she left, and then our relatives came into the house also to stay there, and they left after a single day. They couldn't spend the entire night. They were like, there is for sure something in that house. We could not sleep, and she was there for like months. And she was feeling this every day, and she was like, but maybe it's just me. I feel like I'm going crazy.
Did she ever like talk out loud, like, I know you're in here,
No,
and I don't want you in here?
That's what I do. If I'm scared, I will like start like making noises.
Sure.
Like I start whistling really loudly, or I start singing and be like, yeah, it's cool. just to try and lessen the silence.
You know what I do? I sometimes, if I come down over here to the basement now, and मैं अपना torch on करके, because I'm too lazy to turn on all the lights, so I'll come down with my torch and I'll be like, अगर अभी कोई चीज यहाँ पे है तो ये, and then I'm like, there's nothing there, so I'm just psyching myself out. I'm like, there's nothing here.
Even though that's the scariest thing. Imagine if there was something there.
Then I knew it. I knew it. I caught you. I caught you. You didn't scare me. I caught you.
Yeah. Shit.
What your sister did reminds me. कल ही एक TikTok देखा है of this like Persian guy buying a house that's haunted, and he's like, it's haunted. मैं like, discount is please. He's like, fuck it, मैं इधर ही रहूँगा. Yeah. He's like, ghost बोल रहा. He's like, fuck you, I pay for this. But okay, I think that's good.
Do you have any Jinn stories?
Huh?
Do you have any Jinn stories?
Unfortunately, no. I've gotten a lot through the podcast, but मेरे साथ
And
कुछ
why?
नहीं है.
So, what's your fascination with the Jinn stories?
यार ये people like hearing about them, and it sort of became a joke.
SEO, bro.
Yeah.
Our
Relatability.
second episode
Jinn
ever.
stories with cooking chaos.
Yeah.
Many more Jinn stories if you need them. Then
Our second
I know
episode.
one. Once we were, I was living at my chachu's house in Karachi, and my cousins told us how across the road in the other house, there was a period in which they used to hear a woman scream out loud in the middle of the night, and standing at the balcony and screaming out loud, just out into the open. And they would have to, the house people would then have to try to drag her back inside. And that happened multiple times. And then she disappeared, or maybe took a jump. I don't remember the ending.
This being in
But
Karachi,
that was scary. When I heard that, and I was just thinking to myself, I'm here, and that happened just across the street. As soon as you're in that position, then you do sort of get a little bit worried.
Yeah.
Like, this is my cousin. This is a sensible person. I know this person.
ये
I
झूठ
relate
थोड़ी
with this
बोलेगा.
person. If this person is telling me this, might be true.
Yeah. No, I think our best stories, because our second episode ever was like a horror stories people sent in, and then we made fun of them. So theek hai. But then people really liked them. So we've done like 6, and it's become like Jinn stories sent in by people. Then there was this episode with like 2 people jinke gharon mein the Jinn. So like they're like, I lived in this house and isme ye hua. Then there was one guy from, so it's sort of like evolved as a genre thing. It's not just people sending stories to make fun of them. It's real life experiences. Logon ki. And then this guy from India, he writes Jinn stories about horror stories on Twitter from India. And he came, and then it became like through horror stories discussing Delhi kaisa hai. Delhi ki vibes. So it's sort of, yeah, but then also it became a joke. तो जब भी मुझे याद आता है ना, तो मैं किसी का इंटरव्यू करता हूँ, एंड में पूछता हूँ, हाँ भाई कुछ है तो बता दो. And most people don't have them. Some people do. Like, I think this is good. The London.
Yeah, there was something about that story that I don't want to misquote. That's why I'm not saying it. But
just say it.
Which one?
It was something that she had a necklace with like what do you call it?
Taweez. Who?
It was some necklace. My sister did.
Okay.
And then at one point she woke up in the middle of the night with the same feeling like you have to take this off.
Oh.
I thought like maybe like a mark on her neck.
No,
from the necklace.
But she had this like unbelievable thing. Okay, you have to take it off right now. I know there was something about, I don't know. That's why I don't want to misquote the story, because I don't know exactly what it was. But yeah.
Okay.
She still wears it today.
She can't take it off now.
She can't take it off.
Yeah.
She's forever bound.
Hey, I think I'll wait for you to like confirm, and then whenever you hear back and I hear back, doesn't matter what episode it is, मैं डाल दूंगा एक बीच में. By the way, remember when we
yeah.
Monday से पहले clips send कर दो.
Oh,
Give
sure.
the final conclusion, yes.
Sure, or even later, because like who cares? कौन कितने लोग देख रहे हैं? It's like it's fine. ठीक है. Guys, any closing message Pakistan की youth के लिए?
लगे रहो.
Nice. That's good enough. Cooking Chaos. We'll put the links. Now I'm finally talking to the camera that's looking at my face. As always, thank you very much, Yasser and AR,
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
your.
It's our pleasure.
Please convey our regards to your crew who make your insanity happen. I hope you don't get good at cooking, because I think that will reduce the madness. Though I hope your level of incompetence improves slightly, but not too much.
Yes.
And I'm a big fan, Shadid convert to your cause, and hopefully you get more episodes out in time. ठीक है जी. Thank you very much. TPR Pod, Mahal Upper, Twitter, etc. Links below. Go follow. Please, you follow them.
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay जी. खुदा हाफिज.
Thank you. Bye bye.